Hey, hello everyone, and welcome back. Well, I decided to do a part 2 to my latest video, Narcissist-Deceptive Demons and Dollars video. And why did I decide to do a part 2 here? Well, there is another type of narcissist that you should know about. One that is highly toxic and can ruin you financially. And I'll get into that type of narcissist in a moment here. First of all, I'm just doing a quick recap on the first video. We talked about the high-functioning, high on the spectrum, severe malignant narcissist, or narcopath as I call them, the ones high on the spectrum of narcissism who manifest behaviors of a psychopath, sociopath, and can be sadomasochistic as well. These types are highly dangerous and use finances to control, demean, and punish their targets. They will dangle money over their target's head after convincing their target to leave their job or move out of state or move away from family and their support system. You know, the target totally trusts this type of narcissist who promises to provide and give them what they want, and actually suggests for the target to maybe take a break from work for a while. Well, that usually ends up to be a nightmare for the target, because this type of abusive, malignant narcissist or narcopath will withhold finances from the target, will punish the target by leaving them stuck without money for weeks. Many times these types will go on their business trips and not leave, you know, their spouse with anything to live on as punishment. It really is like a prison, and it's so the target will beg for provision and see the narcissist as this all-being figure of power that they have to really be submissive to. It is highly abusive, highly demeaning, and devaluing to the target. Now, this other type of narcissist that this video is about is the opposite. It is the parasitic narcissist. However, they can be just as devastating and can ruin your finances if you're not careful, if you don't spot these out ahead of time. And let's get into these types so you guys can be warned and can look for the signs to prevent financial ruin from happening. Now, these parasitic narcissists do not present as such. They present as educated, well-off, successful people. You may even meet them at work, so you know they have a job, right? You would never think that these types would be highly irresponsible financially and are in the financial ruin that they're in. They act like nothing's wrong. They're very cheery people. They can sleep at night, but they owe everybody everything. And this isn't divulged until they've roped you in and locked you down as a target and a source of supply. So they will present as people of means, or like they have their act together financially. You have no reason to doubt them. You know, they'll be love bombing you in the beginning just like anybody else. They'll be telling you, you know, positive things about their life and their situation. However, if you notice things like they're staying with family, you may want to do some research as to why. If they don't have transportation, you know, and you're picking them up, I mean, okay, do they have transportation for themselves? And if not, why? There's little clues here that'll tip you off. If you find yourself maybe paying for things that normally they would be paying for, then you may want to say, okay, why don't they have money on them all the time? But those are kind of obvious signs. Many times, really, there's no indicators until you have committed to this person, had children with this person, or you know you're living with this person and cohabitating. Then, you know, the surprises happen. All of a sudden, their car's impounded, and you have to pick them up and pay the fee because they don't have any money. Or the IRS is after them. They can't pay their back taxes, and their account's frozen, and they need to borrow money from you. All of these things come as a plethora of events that are shocking, because it's not the person you met, it's not the person you knew, but They're all being revealed all of a sudden. And it's because this type of narcissist has been with you for a while. They know you're responsible with money. They know you're a good source of supply and provision for them. And they've gained your trust. So at some point, this is all going to hit the fan, and their true situation is going to be revealed to you. You're going to find out that they're not staying with their family because they're taking care of their elderly parents, but because they had nowhere to go and they didn't have any credit to get their own place. You may find out they don't have a car because it's been impounded for failure to pay registration for a very small amount each month that they just decided not to pay for a few years. And all of a sudden, boom, they have no transportation and they're asking you for rides, or they're using your car. So you see how this is. It doesn't start off this way, but somewhere down the road, when they have gained your trust, all of a sudden, the real person is revealed. The real irresponsible person is revealed, and they become the parasitic narcissist in your life. They won't be contributing to the roof over their head. They will owe several creditors, which will probably be harassing your residents with phone calls, as to paying debts from a long time ago. Exes will call up saying that they, had their bank accounts frozen because of this person, and he hasn't or she hasn't paid anything on it. The IRS will be on their back. All kinds of situation will happen that you will probably be expected to bail the narcissist out of. And because you're a kind person with a good heart, you feel that, wow, this person's just in a bind. They will tell you it's a one-time incident. But if you do your homework, you will find out that, yes, that ex that's calling up because their bank account was frozen, the narcissist did the same thing to her. The family member they're staying with, well, that's their fourth or fifth time that they've had to crash in on that relative for a free place because they couldn't afford their own place, or they didn't have the credit to get their own place. So these types don't correct their financial issues. And the reason being is they're a narcissist. They feel they don't have to. They feel they're above the law. They feel they don't have to pay court-ordered child support. They feel they don't have to pay any court-ordered judgments. They don't have to pay creditors. They don't have to pay collection agencies. They feel they are above that and they don't owe those debts. They really come across like that. They're very arrogant. They're very lazy, too. They really don't want to work to correct their situation at all. They just latch on to some other person that's going to play mommy or daddy and take care of them. Even way into adulthood, they just never grow up financially. They can appear mature, they can appear intelligent, they can have a good job, but they are financially irresponsible because they just really have an arrogance that tells them that those bills don't apply to them. Don't even be surprised if there's there's warrants for their arrest out. Failure to appear in court for different, financial situations or, debts owed to people. They have a sense of arrogance, entitlement. They have the victim mentality, and they have what I call the I can't mentality. When you tell them to correct their situation, to get their own transportation, to get their own credit, the typical saying is, I can't get my own credit. I can't fix my own car. I can't pay the IRS debt. It's very much the victim mentality. They're the I can't people. And usually the empath that they pick is the I can person, the responsible person who can't even imagine that these types exist, but they do. And just remember, it's not the person you met. The person you met was a seemingly responsible person who didn't divulge a word of this to you. And it's lying by omission. It is lying by omission. It is detrimental to the sustenance of the relationship to reveal something as serious as, these types of situations. But the narcissist feels like they can just omit it and then surprise the person after they're married or when they're moved in or when they have children together. And that is the wrong time to do that. The target can make an informed an intelligent decision ahead of time, had they known about the situation that was about to financially cripple or ruin them for several years to come. They have a right to know these things, but the narcissist doesn't think so. The narcissist just thinks they don't owe those debts, so there's no reason to tell the new target. But just know, the only way to stop this financial ruin is to cut your losses with this type of person. They don't get better. They don't all of a sudden become super responsible. They simply go out and find a new target. So if they have done that, count your blessings that they're out of your life. Cut your losses. It is very upsetting to have everything you worked for ruined by somebody that said they loved you and cared for you and has no regard for how hard you worked to keep your credit, to buy your belongings, and to try to work towards the future. They have no concern because narcissists don't care about anybody but themselves and securing supply and a roof over their head and using somebody's credit cards or driving their car. It's all about them. And they will walk away and not pay any judgments that are court-ordered to pay you back. They just don't feel that the money is even owed. So just remember that, everybody. These types do not get better. And really do your homework. If you have any suspicions that somebody may not be giving you the clear picture on, where they're staying and why, or their financial situation, then you have a right to know. It's your life, and your life needs protecting. And once the person is cleared as an honest person who has, been forthcoming with their presentation to you, then you can decide, if the person needs something, I'm sure you'd be the first one to help them. But if someone has been deceptive and presented a false self and is looking to manipulate and is lying by omission and is basically looking to you to be their parent instead of their partner, then something's wrong. You need to bail. You need to cut your losses and go, because that's the enemy coming to steal, kill, and destroy everything you've worked for, and you don't want that. Respect yourself, respect what you worked for. It doesn't mean being selfish. You are a giving, kind person with a good heart, but that's why you were targeted. So know this type, know this parasitic type. They're the I can't person. And they're looking for an I can like you, who's responsible, kind, with a good heart. So everybody, I hope this was helpful. Please watch your back and don't perish due to lack of knowledge, guys. The world is full of these insidious types that the adversary has in the world today, unfortunately. And they don't present like they're part of Satan's army. Of course not. They're not going to be as obvious as that. But they are out in full force. And, the adversary needs a host. The adversary needs a body, a human being to use to do his dirty work. So you're going to cross these types that are narcissistic and toxic in your life. And the more you know, the more you can prepare, the more you can avoid, financial ruin in the future. So tell me what you think about this, and if you've encountered these types, I'd love to hear in the comments below. Also, if you need prayer, put that in the comments as well, and I'll be sure to include you in my nightly prayers, as I do all of you on the channel. And please, rumble on Rumble and follow on Facebook on the Angel Haven Ministry page. And if you need guidance and spiritual guidance, please email me at AngelHavenMinistry@gmail.com, and I'll tell you how to set up a spiritual guidance meeting. So thanks so much, everybody, and God bless. I'll see you soon.